Sometimes people just don't like their job. And sometimes there's a storyline of somebody who doesn't like their job. So we're going to uncover this huge story surrounding Becky Lynch refusing to work WWE Raw. Also, in addition to that, we have some really huge news surrounding Leon Slater. A lot of rumors are pointing to not only a WWE signing, but also some major plans for Saturday night's main event. In addition to that, we're also looking at potentially AJ Lee and MJF. There's some big stories there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Ango Show. If you guys want more videos like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button and ring that bell. This way you never miss a video on the channel. I want to kick things off with MJF. Obviously, there's been a lot of rumors surrounding MJF. I was talking about this about a week or two ago about some major AEW plans that included MJF. Today, it looks like we got some confirmation from WrestleVotes. So shout out to WrestleVotes. They've reported today that MJF is expected to be part of AEW World's End. The rumor that I've heard months ago and weeks ago was that MJF would be factored into the World Heavyweight Championship picture for AEW, and it looks like that's probably going to be the case. World's End is at the end of December. Right now, we're still looking to see what's happening with Samoa Joe, Hangman Page, Swerve Strickland, and it looks like MJF will probably be the missing piece to that. And all signs are pointing to a fatal four-way match. Now, with WrestleVotes confirming that MJF will be factored into World's End, we'll see what kind of move they decide to make. But I'm excited about this. I think MJF is heavily missed on AEW programming. I think he is a very big part of AEW. I think when you look at what you could build at AEW, MJF has to be included. I think it's very clear that MJF is the guy in the company. I don't think his booking in the past year has necessarily reflected that, but his entire tenure in the company has. And I would like to see him back on track with that. And I would like to see MJF factored into AEW programming in the World Championship picture. With everything that you have between Swerve, Hangman, and Samoa Joe, I think MJF just makes a lot of sense. And I think you also have to factor in Will Ospreay when he inevitably returns. So that's obviously a very big part of things. But it's a very good thing for AEW, and I think for MJF, it will be a very good thing for him to be involved. If you're AEW, you want to end the year very strongly, and MJF is somebody who has been known to get people talking about the AEW product, and I think he's the perfect person in this particular case to be involved, but also to maybe end the year with a bang, and I look forward to seeing what happens. That brings us to our next topic, ladies and gentlemen, AJ Lee. There's been a lot of talk about CM Punk and AJ Lee and how they would be, potentially working in Saudi Arabia. And obviously we've seen CM Punk come back, and WWE's partnership with Saudi Arabia has led to CM Punk coming back and working Saudi Arabia. Now AJ Lee is actually also expected as well. So WrestleVotes did confirm that AJ Lee will be one of the 30 superstars competing in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia as part of the Women's Royal Rumble. They have confirmed that she is going to be part of that. She is part of the WWE roster, and it's been agreed upon that she'll be working the show in Saudi Arabia. Now, obviously, this is the first time that the Royal Rumble is going to Saudi Arabia. This is the first time in which I think a lot of people are just curious to see how it's going to go and how people are going to be utilized there. There's still a lot of rumors that maybe Sami Zayn will be the Royal Rumble winner. There's a lot of rumors everywhere, man. And when it comes to the Royal Rumble, it's such a big, major, massive, everybody knows how big the Royal Rumble is. There's rumors that AJ Lee is the front runner to win. But that's how it is, right? There's always rumors, and there's always going to be things and speculation in which they never really come to fruition. But AJ Lee coming to Saudi Arabia, CM Punk coming to Saudi Arabia, I think that pretty much closes the conversation as to whether or not we should be expecting them to work these events. And with AJ Lee going there, I mean, it just makes sense. She's back in WWE. She's doing things with WWE. We'll see what that storyline entails, and we'll see how they go about it. And hopefully all goes well. But yeah, AJ Lee will be in the Rumble. That brings us to our next topic. Ladies and gentlemen, Leon Slater capturing headlines today. Leon Slater is the young up-and-comer from TNA. I was a fan before he joined TNA. I'm even a bigger fan now that he's in TNA, and now that he's X Division champion, and now that he's actually getting a chance to shine. Leon Slater is in a funny position, though, because Leon Slater has now withdrawn from Rev Pro's Uprising show and the WXW anniversary shows this weekend. So There were a couple shows in Europe that Leon Slater was advertised for. He has withdrawn from those shows, and all of the signs point to Leon Slater being part of WWE Saturday Night's Main Event. This would be a drastic change for WWE because this is a TNA wrestler who has been featured on NXT, but he's not an NXT superstar. And if he were to work Saturday Night's Main Event, that is obviously a massive ordeal. The rumors are that WWE will do AJ Styles versus Leon Slater. And the thing that's very intriguing to me about this is that there's also rumors that AJ Styles will work TNA live on AMC. WWE is probably going to try to sign Leon Slater. And to me, I look at this as they are rolling out the red carpet for him, if that is in fact true. If Leon Slater is working Saturday Night's Main Event against AJ Styles, TNA then has AJ Styles work live on AMC. It is a win-win for both companies, and that's a great sign of a partnership. I fully expect Leon Slater to depart from TNA at some point to WWE. I do. I think WWE will very much want Leon Slater. I think it is very clear that is the direction that they are headed as a company, and I think they are basically doing the same thing they did with Jordan Grace, the same thing they're doing with Joe Hendry, and now they're applying that to Leon Slater. And I think if you're TNA, that is a massive blow to your company, and that's where I can understand the arguments against the partnership. But if Leon Slater is working Saturday Night's Main Event, people will be talking about TNA, and that would be a big ordeal. And look at what John Cena is trying to accomplish with this show. It's the future of the business versus the present of the business, and I think that's really huge. I think that's a really big deal. And imagine Leon Slater being on John Cena's final event ever. That is crazy to think about, but it's possible. And that brings us to our final topic. Becky Lynch apparently refusing to work WWE Raw. She dropped a new video, and she says she's not showing up on Raw. She's got her lawyers involved. She says that she refuses to work. She deserves respect. She deserves admiration. She says, I deserve everything because I'm the greatest female wrestler of all time. And she is continuing to boycott WWE. Now, what is actually really incredibly funny here is that this is a storyline. This is a character. But I love what they're doing here. They're trying to blur the lines. And Becky Lynch and the way that she's acting on social media, I mean, she's very much taking notes from Donald Trump. But it's led to a really good reaction. And the fact that she has this conspiracy against the WWE and she's got her lawyers against WWE, it is very clear what Becky Lynch is doing is drawing up a ton of conversation. And for us, we are all smart and we all are very aware that what is happening with Becky Lynch currently has a lot to do with storyline and kayfabe. But there are a lot of people out there who may not understand that. And that's where they try to blur the lines and do things. But the storyline of her refusing to work WWE is actually a great thing. And I want to see WWE take this to new heights. I really do. I want to see them take this to a different level because blurring the lines is great. It sort of feels like storyline. Well, for the most part, it feels like storyline. And it feels very well in character. What can they do after this to keep that also feeling a little bit less character, right? That's what you got to do if you're WWE. Sometimes it's okay if your top stars are missing the shows. Turn that into a story and make it performative. And I think it's going to be very good. So very excited to see what transpires here. Becky Lynch is missing Raw. She says she refuses. Let's see what happens.